Buenas tardes y casi que buenas noches a todas las personas que están a través de la página web de Colfuturo. Agradecemos que hayan aceptado la invitación para estar en esta sesión virtual con la Universidad de Auckland de Nueva Zelanda. Veo que ya hay bastantes personas conectadas, hay cerca de 15 personas que están en línea en este momento. Me está diciendo Ángela que no escucha nada, por favor me pueden confirmar si están escuchando correctamente. Mi nombre es Ángela Sánchez, yo hago parte del programa de Consejería Académica y la idea y el propósito de esta sesión es que ustedes puedan conocer sobre la Universidad de Auckland, sobre qué significaría ser un estudiante en esta universidad, sobre la oferta, por supuesto, de programas de posgrados y que aprovechen toda la opción y el espacio para realizar todas las preguntas que tengan a nuestro invitado, que es Shane Ball, que ya más adelante se va a presentar él mismo. Les recuerdo que hay una casilla de chat al lado derecho, entonces pueden ir escribiendo sus preguntas para que al final las pueda responder Shane. En alguna parte de la presentación, además, vamos a tener la intervención de una estudiante beneficiaria de Colfuturo, que este año fue la seleccionada y es como quien recibió la beca del 100%, que hace parte del convenio con la universidad. Entonces, cuando la escuchen, pueden también hacer preguntas para conocer un poco más de su experiencia. Entonces, Shane, muchas gracias por estar aquí. Para quienes están en línea, Shane está aquí en la Casa de Colfuturo, ha venido desde Nueva Zelanda. Gracias por hacer esta presentación para nuestros estudiantes y puedes iniciar si quieres.
Bueno, Ángela, muchas gracias por la invitación. Ha sido un gusto, como siempre, estar aquí en Bogotá, aunque esta noche un poquito lluvioso afuera, pero sí, aquí estamos seguros y con las cabezas arriba del agua. Bueno, vamos a darles una presentación acerca de pues, cómo es la vida en Nueva Zelanda, dónde está Nueva Zelanda, que es una cuestión muy importante para muchos, ¿no? Y también unas cosas sobre los cursos que ofrecemos en la universidad, cómo es para trabajar en Nueva Zelanda, esos tipos de cosas, ¿no? Una cosa que me puede ayudar es, por favor, en el casillero de chat, ¿eso se dice? Sí, me pueden apuntar el área de tu interés, ¿no? Entonces, si está interesado en estudiar ingeniería, por ejemplo, me lo mandas un chat y de esa manera puedo dar la presentación más como a sus necesidades, ¿no? Entonces vamos a empezar con un video y luego seguimos con la presentación. les gustó el video. A mí me gusta ese video porque además de ver un poco de la ciudad y de la universidad, se puede ver en la Universidad de Auckland que estamos muy enfocados en la tecnología, la innovación y las ciencias más que todo. Entonces, Ángela me dio un susto porque me dijo que vamos a subir esta presentación en YouTube. Entonces, desde ahora voy a hacer la presentación en inglés. Y luego, si tienen preguntas, puedo volver a hablar en español porque ya me hace un poco de falta. Okay, so let's begin the presentation today. The first question that's always really super important for Latinos is, where exactly is New Zealand? And here it is. Quite frequently, well, your maps actually are set out with Latin America to the left side, right? Whereas we always have what we call a Pacific-centered map, which puts New Zealand right in the middle. And when you see a map like that, you can see that New Zealand is not as far away as people think from Colombia, right? And in fact, I flew here in a direct flight, Auckland to Houston, and then I had a fast connection, and I was in Bogota in 17 hours. So, the travel time is almost the same. And in fact, probably shorter than to quite a lot of destinations in Europe. So New Zealand is not as far away as people think. So the university has a lot of international partnerships. We have over 180 partners in 45 countries. And one of our newest partners is right here in Bogota. We've just signed an agreement with La Universidad de los Andes, who are a very important partner for us now. So why study in New Zealand? It's a good question. Well, you can study at a top 100 university. You can enjoy a world-class lifestyle. So it's quite a change from living here in Colombia. You can also graduate from the university with a globally recognized qualification. We have a great reputation with international employers, so your degree is going to be valued in New Zealand, back here in Colombia, and all around the world. But overall, one of the most important things that makes us proud to be New Zealanders is that we have a core value of what's called mana kitanga, which is hospitality or kindness. And this core value I actually see quite a lot here in Colombia. I think it's a core value that we share with Colombia. New Zealand has a massive diversity of cultures. So you can see on the top left we have students from India, we have students from Asia and Southeast Asia. To the right, you can see a panel with some Pacific dancers. Auckland is the largest city in the Pacific in the world. To the bottom left, you can see a demonstration of a dance by some Maori warriors. And of course, to the right there, you can see we are playing rugby. And in fact, we're right in the middle of our Mundial of rugby, and everybody's going crazy about that back home. So, as I said, Auckland is a global city. One statistic that we like to point out is that now more than 40% of people that live in Auckland were born in another country. So if you can imagine a city like Bogota, where almost half of the people were born in another country, you can start to imagine the feeling that we have in Auckland. Here's an aerial view of the University of Auckland, our campus, taken from above. So you can see it's right in the center of Auckland. Auckland's a beautiful city. Colombians really love coming to Auckland because of two main reasons. The first is the contact that we have with the sea. So you can see that that the city is surrounded by oceans on all sides. In the summer, unbelievably, we go out and we swim in that harbour, so the water's clean. And the other important thing for Colombians is the climate. So we have a very easy climate to live in. I'd say it's a little bit like being in Colombia. In summer, it gets hot. I guess it will be a little bit like Cali. Maybe not as hot as Cali. In spring and autumn, it's kind of like Medellin. And in winter, I don't want to upset any Bogotanos, but it gets a little bit chilly, but never gets cold. We never get snow falling on the ground or anything like that. So for Colombians, the climate is really good. And I know because I'm married to a Caleña, and I know when it gets cold because she starts complaining. But yeah, that's why Auckland is probably the most popular city with Latinos. You can also see from the photo that the university is surrounded by all those tall buildings. Quite a few of those are student accommodation buildings now. So you are fairly easily able to get accommodation, which is arranged by the university, or you're able to get an apartment and to share your apartment with your friends to save some costs. Okay, so let's talk about the University of Auckland. The University of Auckland is New Zealand's largest and most important university. We've now got, this slide is out of date, we've now got 44,000 students and 5,000 staff, and we were established in 1883, so one of the oldest universities in New Zealand. That building there is not from that time, of course, that's just been built. And in fact, we have a large program of building going on at the university. So we have beautiful new facilities for our medical school, for our engineering students, for our science students. And that is the science building right there. So ranking is always important. And we are ranked number 1 in New Zealand. And in fact, in the QS ranking, there's actually a need to update the slide. We are now 83rd in the world. So this year, our ranking went up again. So within the top 100 of the world, which is quite an achievement. We've got 8,800 international students from 120 different countries, which is a fabulous experience for you guys coming from here, being able to meet people from all of those different countries. We're also ranked the highest ranked New Zealand university for graduate employability. So what does that mean? Our university is ranked number 59 best in the world for graduate employability, or for getting a job at the end of your studies. So number 59 in the world. So employability, getting a job after your studies, is super important for us. And I'll talk about that in a little while. Here are some of our rankings. So you can take a moment and read through the rankings there. So as you can see, we have 13 subjects that are ranked in the top 50 in the world. And there are the subjects that are ranked in the top 100. So it's pretty much all of the programs that people are interested in coming from Colombia. Okay, I talked a little bit about being the highest ranked New Zealand university for graduate employability, so number 59 in the world. And we've also been ranked number 1 for the university impact rankings. So what is this? Times Higher Education have an annual ranking of universities that are working to accomplish the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And we ranked number 1 globally in that. So what it does is it recognizes the commitment that our university has to sustainability and making a positive social impact through research, teaching, and our knowledge transfer. So we're particularly proud of that qualification. Talking about work rights, this is super important for Colombians. So there's a picture of our Prime Minister. And we changed the law last year, and the work rights for our students are now the best in the world. What does that mean? That means that any student that has finished doing a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, or a PhD is able to stay in New Zealand for up to 3 years after they finish their qualification. There's no need to have a job offer. You just get a visa. The visa does not have an employer. If you're doing a master's degree or a PhD, you are able to bring your family, and your husband and wife can work on a full-time work visa, and your children can go to school in New Zealand for free in the state schools. So it's a tremendous package. In addition, you're able to work while you study for up to 20 hours per week. That's for bachelor's and master's degree students. And if you're a PhD student, there is no limit on the number of hours that you can work. So those work rights are significant globally. And one point to make is that in many countries, in order for you to stay 2 or 3 years after you finish your degree, you will have to study a 2 or 3 year degree. That's not the case in New Zealand. Even if you study a 1 year's master's degree, you are able to stay for 3 years afterwards. Okay, so I'm going to go through the subject areas that we teach. So we teach arts. We're ranked 48th in the world in arts. And these are the kinds of subjects that we teach in arts. So development studies, translation, applied linguistics. We have a really good media, film and television school. And we do study politics and international relations. One of our new programs, which is not mentioned on the slide, is a Master of Conflict and Terrorism Studies. So we actually have 20 of our Master of Conflict and Terrorism students coming to study for a month here in Bogota at the University of Los Andes. So that qualification is becoming extremely popular, and it's of great interest, of course, to you guys here in Colombia passing through your peace process. And here are some of the programs that we offer. So there you can see the master's programs. We've got a Master of Conflict and Terrorism Study, also popular in Colombia, Master of Teaching English to Speakers of Other Languages, Master of Public Policy. Okay, that's our business school. So it's a gorgeous facility. It's got the Triple Crown accreditation, just like the School of Management in Los Andes. And it's ranked in the top 100 for business, economics, and accounting. So we teach all the normal subjects. There's somebody here that's interested in doing a marketing degree. That's taught at the business school. The programs that we teach include at the master's level a Master of Commerce, Master of Management. The Master of Management is kind of like a mini MBA. So it's quite a general qualification, and that's a 15-month master's degree. We also teach a Master of International Business, Master of Professional Accounting, and a specialized Master of Marketing. Those 3 last degrees are 18-month qualifications. Okay, so as I said before, it's a Triple Crown accreditation. So very strong connections with local business. Yeah, so it's a great way to start making your business networks out into the community by studying with the business school. Creative Arts and Industries. We have a School of Architecture and a School of Fine Arts within the Creative Arts and Industries faculty. So the disciplines most of interest to people here. We've had Colombians that have done fine arts with us. We've also had Colombians that have done urban planning and urban design. So the degrees that we have in that field include, at master's level, a Master of Arts, Master of Architecture, and Master of Urban Planning. So education and social work is very popular with Colombians, mainly because of its high ranking. We get quite a few PhDs coming through to study education and social work, and in fact, one of the teaching staff is Constanza Tolosa, who was originally a student of the University of Los Andes. We teach all of the normal disciplines around education and social work, including early childhood education, primary teaching, secondary teaching, social work, and physical education. Education's a really good opportunity for Colombians. You can see some of the programs that I've listed there. The graduate diploma in teaching is especially good qualification for a student that's coming from a teaching background here in Colombia with very good language skills. That graduate diploma is a one-year-long program, and at the end of that, you will have some teaching placement, and you will be able to go out and get yourself registered as a New Zealand teacher at the end of that year. So if you've got teaching experience and you've got an IELTS level of 7, which is high, you are able to do that diploma in 1 year only. We have Master of Education, Master of Social Work, Educational Leadership, and Education Practice as well. Engineering is probably one of our most popular faculties. We're ranked #1 in New Zealand for engineering. Chemical engineering is ranked 37 in the world. Some of the degrees that we offer, Master of Engineering, we offer a Master of Engineering Project Management, Master of Engineering Studies, Master of Energy, and Master of Disaster Management. We also have a new qualification on the Master of Earthquake Engineering as well. So some of the specializations in engineering include biomedical, chemical and materials, civil, environmental, computer science, electrical and electronic, engineering science, mechatronics, mechanical and software. We also have next year a number of data science degrees, which we will be launching through the Faculty of Science. I'll talk about those in a second. So we're just building a brand new building. So that is the old engineering building. There's a brand new one being opened in the first semester next year, which we're really excited about. We're also home to the Auckland Bioengineering Institute. So law, I don't think we have anyone with us tonight that's interested in law. So I'll just move through that. The focus for our law school really isn't around human rights and international law. So if you are interested in law, please let us know via the chat. Most international students come to us to do a Master of Laws degree. Okay, our medical and health sciences, we're ranked 101 in the world for life sciences. These are the key programs. So we have health sciences, medical science, medicine, nursing, optometry, public health, and pharmacy. So all of those are taught there in the medical school. Now, it's very difficult to enter direct into the Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery. So normally the students that come to us from Colombia come to us to do master's degrees in non-clinical fields. For instance, our Master of Health Leadership, Master of Health Sciences, or Master of Public Health. So all of those are a great pathway for people with a medical background, or even doctors that are registered here that want to move to New Zealand to do a qualification while they take their time to get registered as medical doctors in New Zealand. So in the medical and health sciences, we have 6 schools: medical sciences, nursing, pharmacy, population health, medicine, and optometry. And finally, science. This is our biggest faculty by a long way, actually. So we've now got 13 subjects ranked first in New Zealand. We have 50 subjects in science in these areas. So we've got biological, health and life sciences, chemical and physical, earth and environmental, human, social and behavioral sciences, and mathematical and computational sciences. So you can see some of the degrees that we've got there. Most popular with Colombians is the Master of Science. We also teach environmental science. We have an excellent Master of Information Technology. So that's for students that have experience with information technology, or they may come to us without experience of information technology. So depending on your prior experience, that program can last from 1 year to 18 months or through to 2 years to a person that's coming to information technology without an information technology background. A really cool part of that degree is we offer an internship as part of the degree. So there is a 3-month internship included in that degree. There is a small stipend. I think you get paid something like $5,000 or $6,000. But the main value, obviously, is getting work experience and also making connections with local employers. So a fairly high percentage of our graduates from the Master of Information Technology do go on to get work in the information technology field. And next year, we're relaunching our Masters in Data Science and Digital Security as well. So in the data science, digital area, we've got some fantastic qualifications. Okay. So, and this is good timing. I think we have a guest.
I just want to interrupt because Alejandra is already online. So if you want, before you start talking about the PhD, we can give her a timing.
Okay.
Todas las personas que están conectadas en este momento a través de la página web de Colfuturo te están viendo y escuchando. Entonces, es el momento para que por favor nos cuentes sobre tu experiencia como en tu programa de doctorado. Yo sé que tú hasta ahora lo vas a empezar, pero no sé si nos quieres contar cómo fue la experiencia de encontrar la universidad, de contactar con los docentes y también que nos cuentes un poco sobre la beca que ganaste gracias al convenio.
Ok, bueno, espero que se escuche bien. Mi nombre es Alejandra Jaramillo y voy a estudiar el próximo año mi doctorado en la Universidad de Auckland. Es un doctorado en educación y pues bueno, la verdad es que este doctorado preparé la aplicación durante todo un año. Hago parte también del semillero de talentos de Colfuturo. Y fue gracias al convenio que tiene Colfuturo y también el semillero de talentos con la Universidad de Auckland que obtuve la beca del 100% de fees, o sea, no tengo que pagar el valor de la matrícula durante el doctorado. De todas maneras, pues también, como saben, existe la beca para el resto de los estudiantes que no son del semillero de talentos, que es del 80% para la matrícula del doctorado. Pues realmente es una gran oportunidad que nos da Colfuturo. Para mí la preparación pues, es siempre como una fase en la que uno tiene que poner mucha atención porque hay muchos asuntos que hay que considerar, como desde el inglés, que hay que preparar con suficiente tiempo de anticipación, hasta la propuesta del doctorado, pues porque en el doctorado no es como en la maestría que hay veces no se necesita propuesta o que la propuesta es más sencilla, sino que tiene que ser algo más elaborado. Y lo que yo creo que es más importante, hay veces pues como la fase que puede resultar un poco más, que toma más tiempo, que puede ser más difícil, es la de conseguir un tutor que quiera pues como asesorarte tu doctorado, porque para la mayoría de casos uno requiere que un tutor apruebe la supervisión. Entonces, bueno, para mí ha sido un proceso que ha tomado un año aproximadamente, desde preparar el inglés, las notas de las universidades, las calificaciones, también de manera muy importante las cartas de recomendación que te piden de docentes o de personas que te conozcan de cerca. Entonces es algo, pues un proceso que toma su tiempo.
Hola Alejandra, le habla Shane.
Hola. Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Muy bien. Y que bueno, yo te puedo ver, pero usted no puede ver a mí, pero
Ajá.
mejor así. Entonces, qué chévere y felicitaciones, ¿no? Tú eres la primera persona que ha logrado ganar la beca. Entonces,
Gracias, no sabía, no sabía que era la primera persona, pero muchas gracias.
no, es fantástico para nosotros y estamos muy emocionados que vienes. ¿Cuándo vienes?
Voy a llegar a mediados de enero. El doctorado lo comienzo el 1 de febrero. Entonces, estoy esperando en este momento el resultado de la visa, que ya pues mandé todos los papeles, estoy solo esperando y espero llegar en enero a mediados.
Excelente. Entonces, enero y febrero son los mejores meses para llegar allá, para acostumbrarse un poquito, recibir el calor antes de llegar el otoño, ¿no?
Sí.
¿Estás en Medellín?
Sí, estoy desde Medellín en este momento,
bueno.
que es donde vivo y donde trabajo.
Ok, entonces vas a disfrutar la cercanía al mar también, me imagino.
Sí, también, muy feliz por eso también. Me gusta mucho eso de la ciudad.
Qué bueno. ¿Y cuál es su área de inglés? ¿En qué vas a hacer su investigación?
Mi área de investigación es en educación. Es un doctorado en educación. El área después es muy específica, que es educación para la democracia y a través del arte. Entonces, esa es como mi área de especialización.
¿Quién es su supervisor?
Sí, tengo un supervisor, es el profesor Peter O'Connor.
Ok. ¿Y cómo le fue todo el proceso de conseguir su supervisor?
Bueno, esa fue la parte un poquito más difícil porque él era como el supervisor que yo más quería en todo el mundo. En todas las universidades que yo veía, yo tenía muchas ganas de estudiar con él. Pero yo le escribí a él un correo antes y yo como hace mucho tiempo le escribí y él no me respondió pues porque muchas veces los profesores se mantienen muy ocupados. De todas maneras, la ventaja en Auckland es que cuando uno aplica, uno no tiene que tener el supervisor, sino como uno puede proponer a alguien y ya directamente en el centro de aplicación al doctorado ellos te hacen el match con esa persona y esa persona lee tu propuesta y ve si está, pues si le interesa y si quiere supervisarte. Entonces ya él pues aceptó y ya después me dijeron que había aceptado, me puse muy feliz porque era como mi héroe académico y ya después yo le escribí ya diciéndole que pues me habían aceptado, que iba a estudiar y ya a partir de ahí he hablado con él varias veces y es muy querido, es demasiado amable, muy cercano, entonces pues estoy también muy emocionada de trabajar con él, de conocerlo porque en los pocos comunicaciones que hemos tenido ha sido pues fabuloso y así me ha hecho sentir pues como bienvenida y que cualquier cosa que necesite él pues está disponible para colaborarme.
Qué bueno. Y sí, yo hablé anteriormente de Constanza Tolosa, quien es de aquí, de Bogotá. Ella está trabajando en esa facultad y vienen bastantes colombianos en educación. ¿Por qué escogiste venir a la Universidad de Auckland?
¿Por qué decidí ir a la Universidad de Auckland? Bueno, en realidad, pues yo empecé a buscar cuando te dije que iba a hacer un doctorado, empecé a buscar como en las facultades diferentes, en las facultades del mundo de educación, donde estaban pues como las líneas de investigación que a mí me interesaban. Yo quería hacer el doctorado en inglés porque yo ya había hecho la maestría en inglés, entonces pues me parecía que era lo más sencillo y entonces tenía pues como varias opciones. A mí Estados Unidos no me llamaba la atención, había mirado también en Inglaterra, pero en Inglaterra pues siempre es demasiado costoso e inaccesible para las personas que no son de la Unión Europea, entonces ahí fue cuando empecé a mirar en Australia y en Nueva Zelanda. Y que además descubrí los convenios que tiene Colfuturo con la Universidad de Auckland y ya pues como mirando la página de la Facultad de Educación encontré unas líneas de investigación que me parecen fascinantes, que es pues como la Escuela de Estudios Críticos en Educación y también descubrí a través de eso el trabajo del profesor Peter O'Connor que me pareció de verdad como muy inspirador y fue por eso finalmente que yo decidí pues como irme con la Universidad de Auckland. Era pues como que yo quería estudiar con ese profesor y quería estudiar en la universidad también por su calidad, porque tiene muchos estudiantes internacionales. En los estudios de educación la Universidad de Auckland es una de las mejor rankeadas, está dentro de las 50 mejores universidades rankeadas en el mundo, en el área de estudios en educación, entonces pues era un muy buen muy buen desempeño y pues no, me gustó mucho todo lo que vi de la universidad en línea, leí muchas cosas sobre la ciudad también, pues que no es tan grande, pero es muy pulsante, muy llena de vida, con muchos estudiantes internacionales. Me interesó mucho también el tema de la biculturalidad de Nueva Zelanda, de los maoríes y los New Zealanders, pues como los white settlers. Me interesó mucho ese esfuerzo que están haciendo por integrar las dos culturas de una manera que sea constructiva para todos, y pienso pues como que tienen también un énfasis muy interesante desde lo postcolonial en la educación, que me interesaba mucho también aplicable a nuestro contexto. Entonces fue por eso pues como que decidí que era la universidad en la que quería estudiar.
Excelente. Alejandra, vamos a tomar una pausa aquí a averiguar si hay algunas personas que están en línea que de pronto tienen preguntas para ti.
Perfecto.
Sí, pues yo estaba justamente escribiendo que en el chat que cualquier persona que tenga una pregunta para Alejandra, por favor la escriba. Sé que muchos están interesados en el área de educación. Luis Felipe, Juliana, Ángela, Diana, casi todos están interesados en educación. Entonces, no sé si quieren aprovechar para empezar a hacer alguna pregunta. Yo sí tengo una, Alejandra, y es si nos puedes contar cómo fue ese proceso para ser parte del semillero de talentos. ¿Tú aplicaste solamente por el convenio o ya eras parte del semillero y después te diste cuenta del convenio?
La verdad es que yo fui parte del semillero de talentos hace como 4 años cuando yo estaba aplicando a la maestría. Ya después yo me fui para hacer la maestría y volví, y yo ya, pues como que ya habían pasado los 3 años que uno puede hacer parte del semillero, pero como yo todavía cumplía con los requisitos para aplicar, yo me había graduado hacía menos de 4 años de la universidad acá en Colombia, me dijeron que podía volver a aplicar. Yo en ese momento ya conocía el convenio, entonces ya esa segunda vez que apliqué, pues apliqué fue directamente porque me interesaba el convenio que existe entre la Universidad de Auckland y los semilleros de talentos. Entonces sí. Esa es la respuesta a tu pregunta.
Listo. Diana te quiere preguntar sobre el requisito de inglés. Tú nos cuentas que ya habías hecho una maestría en inglés, pero ¿qué te pidió la universidad? ¿Te pidió un examen? Sí. ¿Cuánto te estaban pidiendo?
La universidad puede ser un examen que es del IELTS, creo que es por encima de 6.5 y todas las bandas por encima de 6, que es nivel C1. En realidad tiene el nivel C1. O también vale como requisito tener un estudio de maestría de 2 años anterior hecho en inglés, pues o estudios anteriores en inglés. Creo que tenía que ser de maestría.
Ok. Bueno, también Diana está preguntando por el semillero, creo que ya Alejandra nos respondió. Hay una convocatoria, bueno, varias convocatorias del año. La última del 2019 está abierta justo en este momento y como contaba, uno de los requisitos es estar terminando el pregrado o no haberse graduado más de 3 años. Entonces,
más de 4 años.
4 años,
Pues, sí,
entonces,
4 años.
si Diana está interesada o cualquiera que está escuchando está interesado, la convocatoria abrió la semana pasada y creo que va hasta los primeros días de noviembre. Alejandra, cuéntanos si ya conseguiste, están preguntando si ya conseguiste alojamiento.
No, pues la verdad la universidad sí ofrece opciones que a las que uno puede aplicar directamente, era hasta octubre que se podía, pero yo decidí que quería vivir pues como en una casa compartida. A mí por lo general me gusta más que las residencias compartidas, sé que tienen sus ventajas y sus desventajas, pero decidí que quería ir y buscar directamente allá. Entonces por eso voy a llegar pues como con 15 días de anticipación para poder buscar y encontrar un lugar que pues, me sienta cómoda y que quede cerquita a la universidad, porque el campus de Epsom, que es donde quedan los estudios en educación, no queda en todo el centro, sino un poquitico más al sur. Entonces quiero buscar pues como algo que me guste y que sea cerca a ambas cosas, al centro y a la universidad.
Ok. Pues por ahora creo que son todas las preguntas que tenemos para Alejandra. Si alguno de los que está en el chat fue muy tímido y de pronto no quiso hacer ninguna pregunta en este momento, siempre puede contactarnos a Colfuturo, a Consejería Académica o al Semillero de Talento y podemos hacer un contacto con Alejandra para que nos cuente más cosas si fuera el caso. Entonces, no sé, si quieres decir algo final para poder despedir a Alejandra.
No, nada. Muchas gracias por participar, Alejandra.
Muchas gracias por la invitación.
Y cuando llegues en febrero, te invito a tomar un café, ¿ok?
Ay, muchas gracias, súper.
Muchísima suerte con todo lo que ya tiene que hacer.
Listo, muchas gracias Shane y claro, espero que nos podamos conocer personalmente en Auckland.
Bueno, okay.
Chao.
Ciao.
Bueno, chao a todos.
Gracias. Okay, Shane, you can continue now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, we're back again. Yeah, so as I was saying before, fantastic thing about studying PhD in New Zealand, only $5,000 per year. PhD normally takes 3 to 4 years by thesis, and you're going to have a close working relationship with the supervisor. So you heard from Alejandra how excited she was to be working with such a well-regarded researcher. So hopefully you'll have a similar experience too. We also pay our PhD students up to $3,000 a year to assist to conferences and also to pay for their research-related travel and laboratory consumables. While you're studying PhD in New Zealand, you've got the right to work while you study. There's no limit on the number of hours that you can work while you study. We don't encourage you to work instead of studying. It's more to give you the flexibility of being able to work full-time when an opportunity comes up for you. If you're going with your family, your spouse or your partner is eligible for a work visa, and your dependent children receive the same schooling benefits as New Zealand children. And as I told you before, you can receive up to 3 years post-study work rights to be able to stay in New Zealand and to continue working. So our campus life is really vibrant place. It's a really comfortable place to come. We've been talking about scholarships today, so that's important for you guys. So I'd like to point out the University of Auckland International Student Scholarships. These are for up to 10,000 New Zealand dollars for undergraduate or postgraduate taught master's programs. So that goes by your GPA. So if you've got a Colombian GPA of anything over 4, I would encourage you to apply for that. There's also someone here interested in doing a marketing degree. I would encourage you to apply for the University of Auckland International Business Master's Scholarships. They're up to $30,000 for a Master of Management. And we also have Faculty of Arts, $10,000 scholarship, and also a couple of scholarships for our Creative Arts faculty. We've been talking about New Zealand scholarships. On the right there, you can see a profile of Gloria, who is another student that's come to us from Kōwhuturo. She's from the island of Providencia, actually, and she's doing some really interesting work around management of the medio ambiente and rights of indigenous peoples. We have a New Zealand government scholarship as well, which will pay full tuition fees for students that are interested in doing studies to do with, I'll go back here, to climate change, food security, renewable energy, disaster risk management, or any governance related to those topics. So you should apply for those scholarships before the 14th of March. So Google New Zealand scholarships, or there is a link here below the screen, so you can freeze the screen and you can follow that link through till you find the right webpage. And of course, we've just heard from Alejandra, who's our first recipient of the Kōwhuturo University of Auckland PhD fees bursary. So that opens on the 20th of May. That's after the general Beka call for Kōwhuturo, and closes on the 1st of July. So all students that apply for that scholarship must have a credito Beka with Kōwhuturo, and the tenure's for 3 years, and it will pay for all of the tuition fees. Okay, and that really is pretty much the end of our presentation today. Let's just call a halt there, and I'll throw it over to you now. Does anyone else have any questions for me?
Yeah. Hay algunas preguntas. La primera es justo sobre la diapositiva de la beca, de las fechas de aplicación de la beca para el convenio. Entonces, creo que la podría responder yo, si te parece. Y es que las fechas de Colfuturo es que abre el 7 de enero, cierra el 29 de febrero y nuestros resultados son el 14 de julio. Es decir, que apenas ustedes tengan los resultados de si fueron seleccionados, si fueron seleccionados, pueden empezar a aplicar de acuerdo a las fechas que están viendo en la pantalla en este momento. ¿Nos puedes contar qué deben presentar los estudiantes para aplicar a esto? ¿Qué documentos deben presentar?
No, they don't need to provide any documents at all. They can apply for that online. So the student does need to show that they do have a crédito beca with Kofuturo, and the other thing that is required is that they are part of the Semillero de Talento as well. So we will need a letter proving that you are part of the Semillero de Talento, and I think that can be supplied right here in Kofuturo.
That's really important because the most important requirement is that you are part of the Semillero de Talentos. So if you are interested in like achieving this scholarship, you have to apply to the Semilleros right now, because otherwise you won't be able to have the option of the scholarship for the next year. If you think that you are not enough prepared in order to begin the program next year, you always will have the chance to apply or think about the 2021. So another question is, Sebastian is interested in the environmental sciences. So he wants to know what are the main projects that the university is doing in this area in this moment, in the terms of environmental sciences.
Okay, well that's a really good question. So the university has a really wide focus of environmental sciences. To be honest, I can't tell you exactly the projects that are going on. We have a wide range of marine science, geography, geology as well. But there is a page on the environmental science website where they do detail research in detail. But if you can send me your email address now through the chat, I'll be able to send you a link to that and show you how to get to that page.
Okay. Luis Felipe is asking, he would like to know how the graduate diploma of teaching is different from a master, and if it is necessary to present a test in order to apply to this course. So, what is the difference between diploma of teaching and a master?
Okay, so the Graduate Diploma of Teaching is a very practical course. It's a one-year program, and it will involve time in front of students teaching in a classroom with a teacher mentor as well. A Master of Education is far more research-focused, and usually there will be a thesis involved. The great thing about the graduate diploma is that it will give you the opportunity to graduate from that course, and because you've spent some time in front of students, you will be able to go out, get your registration, and begin teaching straight away. So that is the major difference. Graduate diploma for teachers from here that want to do a qualification in as short a time as possible, get some teaching practice, and then get out and start working. Or the masters for students that are more interested in doing investigation and doing a thesis as well. For both, you will need an IELTS of 7.0, which is, it's a high score. But if you're going to be in front of students in less than a year, then you need to be able to manage a certain level of English, as I'm sure you appreciate.
Yeah. Thank you. The next question is related to the last thing that you said. Diana wants to know if she can go study English first and then doing the master's degree. So there is an option of doing that?
Yeah, so we have an English language school called the ELA, English Language Academy, that's attached to the University of Auckland. We have preparation programs, which means that if you want to come and do postgraduate study, according to whatever English level you have at present, you will come and join us for 1 or 2 programs of English. So that can be 10 or 20 weeks of English preparation, and you would go from those English programs. If it's a 10-week program, that would be for somebody that needs to lift their IELTS score by 0.5 of a band, or 20-week study for somebody that wants to lift their IELTS score by 1 band. So if you need to score a 6.5 in the IELTS to start your master's degree, then you would come and you would do that preparation English program for 20 weeks. Now, the good news is that the ELA does work with Ko Futuro, and it offers a 30% discount on the price of English programs, normal English programs, but we also do have some becas available for students that want to do the university preparation English course, the one that I was just describing. So for many students here in Colombia, they will have an IELTS level of around 6, and if you want to do education and you need to get to 7, you would come and you would do that first foundation certificate in English, which is the 20-week. And as I said before, there is a 30% beca available through Ko Futuro. So please ask Ko Futuro.
Yes, and just to add something, the scholarship of the discount that Shani is referring to is for the Programa de Idiomas. So if any of you is interested in knowing more about this discount, el Programa de Idiomas has some talks or charlas every Sunday. Sorry, the second Sunday of each month and the last Thursday of each month. So if you want, you can go through our webpage and find the dates and the time for that kind of talks. The next question is from Vanessa. She's not in Colombia and she wants to know if she can apply to any program or a scholarship, even though she's abroad.
Yes.
Yeah. It's the same requirements as she is going to be here.
Yes. No. Go ahead. There's no limit to where you are. You can apply from where you're at the moment.
And Vanessa, if you are looking for the Crédito Beca, you can also apply from anywhere. It's the same for everyone,
including students that are in New Zealand at the moment as well. So somebody that's studying English and decides that they want to stay, they can apply for the Crédito Beca while they're in New Zealand as well.
Yeah. So, yeah. Sebastian sent his email. So if you want, I can give you the email then. But I think that are all the questions so far. I know that maybe in the process our students will have more questions. So what is the main contact or email in which they can contact you? Through the webpage, or do you have any specific email if you want to share?
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out where I have listed that email actually. Yeah, I'm very sorry actually. I don't have that email here with me, but you can certainly contact us through the University of Auckland, through the call centre there. So just through the webpage, if you've got inquiries, please make the inquiries through. I don't actually handle inquiries from Colombia myself, so yeah, the university will just will respond to you.
Okay, thank you. So thank you to everyone that was online this night. I will send the next week the link to this video on our YouTube channel. So you will have the chance to share it or watch it again. And Shen, thank you so much for being here. I don't know if you want to say some goodbye words for our students.
Yeah, well, great. Thanks very much for the invitation today, Angela. It's fantastic to be with you. It's always great to be here in Colombia. It's one of our favorite places to come to visit. And fantastic to see so much interest in, particularly in the education faculty. So please take advantage of the beca that's available. And we'll keep you posted on how Alejandra gets on over the next year or so. So again, thanks very much for the invitation, and best of luck. And I hope I can buy you a coffee someday in New Zealand.
Okay, thank you so much, and good night, everyone.